are the challenges that the Ottawa Red Blacks bring?
Well, they're a tough team. Nobody here is looking at their record. Drew's back. They got a couple other guys back healthy. They've had a tough stretch with injuries, but they seem to be getting a few guys back healthy, and they play hard. Like they play a tough brand of football. So, I mean, you kind of like those matchups, right? But nobody's taking them for granted. They're a good football team.
It's easy to say we focus on what we do, and I obviously believe that, especially with this team. Is there a certain energy or a focus you need to put in against a team like Ottawa, who's foreign? They need a win. Now, I know every team wants to win, but when they're a desperate team, maybe you could argue you guys are a desperate team a bit right now. Is there a different energy that goes into these games, or focus of saying to guys like, hey, I don't want to say reeling in, but
Yeah, I don't believe so. I mean, professionals get to this point because they can maintain a real consistently high level of performance, energy, focus. That's how they get to this spot. So you expect everybody's best. Um, you'd like to believe that every game's going to be the same, but it isn't. We're human, right? But I also don't really know what the idea of desperation means in terms of play calling or anything like that, right? You're not just going to go out there and throw 60 deep balls and hope you catch 5, right? Like it's still football, still has to be played. The game, there's going to be, everybody's got their own systems, and I don't know how much you deviate out of them because you believe you need to win more now than ever.
You guys obviously have the best information compared to us on the outside. That continuity of having Chris work with the offense again another week, build off last week, how much does that go into your decision on who you're going to put behind center?
Yeah, if you look at the previous couple of weeks, they were short weeks too, right? We didn't really have a lot of practice time, and we certainly didn't have a lot of reps, even though we had practices. The actual number of reps we had was slim to none. Trying to keep guys fresh so that they can play physical football, right? That's what we try and do. So, yeah, I think probably an extra whole day and a half with probably an extra 30 or 40 reps of work should be a difference maker.
I'm wondering with Terry Wilson, you've said very positive things about him. I think I don't want to maybe verbatim here, like he throws a beautiful ball. Mm-hmm. You put him in the Grey Cup last year when Zach went down. What's going to take to give him an opportunity to see what he's got? Especially in the league where you see a bunch of guys come in and hit magic right away. You know what I mean? Like, Crumby in his first start, this guy's been hanging around for a couple of years.
Wish we had that one back, obviously.
For sure.
But, he just keeps putting in the work, and we like what he does. We also, we know who Chris is as a leader, right? And until you get a guy in, and the question was, what's it going to take? I don't know. Those are good questions. There's not many times where we've just said, "Oh, let's just flip it up,"
Sure,
measured for sure. Because the guy who's tabbed as your starter gets the bulk of the reps and the bulk of the opportunities, and the other guys work their asses off behind the scenes and on the field during the play. They're showing you that they understand the offense and the reads, and you certainly take note of that. But the one thing we know about Chris that you don't necessarily know about other people is that we know he's going to lead and he's going to lay it on the line. He's going to put his body on the line every single play for these guys. So that just makes the decision easy.
I'm not asking you to justify it, but it's more than just throws, right? It's leadership, how you command a huddle, what you bring, what you're, all these tangibles that you mentioned. Intangibles.
There's a ton of things that go into it.
Yeah.
And there's always a lot of good conversation about how the game's going and how the offense is being executed.
Was Zach close to being ready? Was he far from being ready? How would you describe it?
Describe it as close. Yeah, sure.
I just had to ask. Jamal Parker coming back in after 6 games away. What does he bring?
Once again, I'll go back to the idea when he was first injured last year, the amount of work he put in to learn the entire defense, learn more about offenses, how everything works, what it looks like from his spot, the amount of time he spent, hanging around Richie and just talking football, talking what he's seeing out there. He put an enormous amount of work in that you don't see everybody put in when they're hobbled. So besides that, he's a terrific athlete, good teammate, good communicator. I mean, all those things are very important too. But yeah, he was a guy that was slated to start for us several times. Right?
Yeah. He's a guy who I've always kind of appreciated how much dog he appears to have in him. BC a couple years ago tries to jump ball him with big receivers, and he just doesn't care that he's not 6'4".
Yeah, he's that that super sweetheart of a guy, and then he bares his teeth, and it's like, oh, okay, back up. He's a good guy to be around. I really enjoy being around him.
If you could, we asked you a couple days ago, but what Michael Griffin brings to this defense, what you don't have for this week at least?
Well, it's not that we don't have. Michael Griffin obviously is a guy that you can put in a bunch of different situations, and he thrives in all of them. But if you look at our roster and the number of guys who've taken snaps and the way we've gotten guys in and out and the number of packages we run, JY is extremely smart, and he'll use everybody effectively and put them in good positions to be successful. So, yeah, you miss a guy like Griff, but there's another guy there that could do a lot of things too.
What have you liked from Jaden Woodby so far in his rookie year?
Yeah, I think he's got some physicality around the box that surprises people. I mean, he's stacked up a few offensive linemen that weren't expecting to get stacked up like they did, which is pretty neat to see. A sure tackler, relentless. So if the play goes slightly away from him and he's in a gap, he managed to get back out of the gap, and next thing you know, he's on the tackle again. So that's pretty neat, and he's learning, right? So he's taking in the information and sort of expanding what he's being asked to do as time goes on, and that's a good thing too, right?